Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. For a quick note about my tarot readings, they are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether this is for your sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three so that you get a clearer picture of how they speak to you. Before we start, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. And please as well, don't forget to hit the like and share and subscribe button. So quick one, because obviously I'm late with the monthlies this week. My apologies for that. Your key to the week card is the Chariot card. So this is going to be a very fast week for you, very likely to be a very dynamic week for you as well. And also the good news as well, because I know the last couple have been fairly challenging for you guys, right? So the message that comes through this week, things are not only going to move for you. One thing you want to be aware of, remember sometimes things can move a little too quick with the Chariot card, but there's definitely movement here. And what this suggests to me is some challenge that you've been facing this week you will finally overcome. This is the week where you're going to be able to say, yes, you know what, I've done that, it's done, it's finished, it's over. There is going to be some sort of forward progression this week, which is great. Remember though, your ruler is currently in the sign of Aquarius and is now retrograde, will be until the 20th of February. So just something to be aware of. Obviously you feel these, more than most, apart from the sign that it's in. Because it's your ruling planet. For your actions and options this week, you have the Queen of Wands. If you have to set a firm boundary this week, don't be surprised. Put them bitches on notice if you must, right? This is a week where you're probably going to find you have to put your foot down with something. And I get the feeling, especially because it's coupled with the Chariot card, this is likely to be something that you've bitten your tongue on and bitten your tongue and bitten your tongue until this week you kind of get to that almost like that thought where you're like, you know what, hang on a sec, I've given and I've given and I've given, and if I give any more I'm going to end up breaking. This is the week to put something in place so that you don't end up losing your temper. What that looks like is a very firm boundary. This week you're going to have to speak your mind, speak your truth and kind of say it exactly as it is. When it comes to your actions and options as well, this week I want you to ask yourself, Gemini, what is it that's going to make you really happy? What is it that you feel is really going to either set you apart or get you ahead? This is about you being honest with yourself. It's about you being clear with yourself. And more importantly, it's about giving your time, your energy and your passion to the things that you really desire. So if you're having to take, a bit of a moment where you step back and say, right, okay, you know what, all of this is ticking over, but I'm not feeling quite as fulfilled as I would like to be. This is the week to ask yourself, what can I do in order to change that experience? For your communications and conversations, you've got the Seven of Swords, right? So this is not a week for it's not a week for contracts, definitely. If you have any collaborations in the pipeline, if somebody is promising you the stars this week, I would be very, very careful. Remember, your Seven of Swords is lies, deceit, it's secrets that are hidden, it's, sometimes it's even things. Now, what do you have here? You've got the Chariot card and the Seven of Swords. The Chariot card is also number 7. 2 sevens in the tarot represents news, right? So this could be a week where you discover where somebody has actively lied to you. Maybe it's a week where somebody has, promised something that they're going to deliver you, and what they deliver you. It's kind of like one of those things like, I'll give you the earth. And then someone gives you a rock that kind of looks like the earth. There's a little bit of disparity going on here. What you promised was this, what you delivered was this. This week, be very, very sure that the person telling you that they can do this for your business, or, we're going to put you there, or we're going to promote you and all the rest of it. Unless you see it in writing, take it with a pinch of salt, especially with the Seven of Swords. Because this week, I kind of get the feeling that someone's promising you something just so that they can get something out of you. Be really, really, savvy this week, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, for those of you that work for somebody else, you might even catch somebody in a lie about you this week. And that Queen of Swords is there, right? So a Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands is there in your actions and options. This suggests this week you will be able to shut it down really, really quickly. What it requires for you to do is to be brave enough to do it, right? Yes, it might make everybody uncomfortable. Yes, it might see you having to say something that needs to be said. Go for it is my advice. Like I said, especially at work, it kind of feels like you're going to catch a lie about yourself, or you're going to see something that is kind of not as it's supposed to be, and you're going to call it out. For those of you that work for yourselves, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, whatnot, again, this could be, if you're working with a contractor or a collaborator of some sort, this would be a week where you really want to pay attention to what somebody is saying they can do, and then what their actions are actually demonstrating they do. All right, because this week I just kind of feel like somebody could be overinflating what they're able to deliver, and the chances are they're not going to. For those of you that are that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this is a week where you are going to have to look at your self-sabotaging tendencies. Where is it that you're telling yourself that you're out for the count? Or where is it that you're telling yourself that you can't overcome something? Pay attention to that this week, because once you find it and you follow that back to whatever it is, this could be a week where you do make some sort of inner progress, but it's going to be a week where you have to really observe where you lie to yourself about something. And we all do it, right? We all do this. So this isn't me getting down on you like, you need to, it's not that at all. For your money and materials, you've got the Ten of Swords. This is not a great card. It's not an easy card either. But what do we see? You've got the Chariot card as your key to the week, which suggests that whatever challenges arise this week, you will be able to overcome. I will say this could be a week where you do feel, by the time you get to the end of it, you could be like, you could be feeling really tired, because it's kind of like, wow, how much can happen in a week? If you feel like that, it just means that you've met the challenges head on. Now, when it comes to your money and your finances, no big purchases this week. If you are required to spend money on something, especially where a collaboration or a contract or whatever, if somebody asks you to borrow money this week, the chances are you're either not getting it back in the time frame that they promise it, or you're not getting it back at all. So unless it's money that you have to kind of say, yep, that's gone, the answer is absolutely no. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your this is your entire back, and I'm talking like your physical back. The bones of your back, this would be a good week to maybe go and see a chiropractor, somebody that does acupuncture or osteopathy, anything like that would benefit you this week. Because if you're going to be feeling it, it will likely be there, especially the mid thoracic to sort of lower back as well. So thoracic to lumbar. Now, I'm not a medical advisor, I can't give you that kind of advice, but this week look out for and after your back. And then for your home and environment, Ten of Swords, wherever you are, Gemini, is coming to an end. Your home living situation this week is either going to become really challenging. For a select few of you as well, this looks like you could be having either a problem with your neighbours or the environment, maybe the locality that you're in. Maybe you're just deciding, actually, you know what, I don't like it here anymore. It's time for me to start thinking further afield. So that's coming up, and it looks like for some of you it's coming up in a big way. For your love and relations, you have the Ace of Cups. All right, so there are some saving graces here for those of you that are single. Just because you've got the Seven of Swords in close proximity. Yes, you have the Chariot card there, so there's a couple of ways that this could play out. For a select few of you, you might be maybe newly seeing somebody, and you might be really wrapped up with and enamored by this person, but your family or your people can't stand them. Or maybe your relationship is now getting in the way of your job, and vice versa. This is something that you will need to look at again, and may very well come up again. For those of you that are in partnerships or relationships, the message here is the work and the home front. These two things are going to clash somewhere. and it's really important that you try not to let the professional life impact the home life. I know it's not always easy, but it is something that you need to be aware of this week. If you are single or you're newly seeing somebody, like I said, there's a sense here where you're going to have to defend the relationship, and that's always a good thing to do. You know, our parents aren't always right about who is right for us. Our friends might not always get on with our partner, but that doesn't mean that one has to be let go of. It just means that they're not compatible. Doesn't say anything about you, but just be aware that this week you might have to fight for the relationship, but the relationship itself is okay, right? It comes up through the guise of the Ace of Cups. So there's nothing wrong with the partnership itself. It's just the external factors pressing in on it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.